So if you don't want to get frustrated with your kids, you've got to practice it every day.
Yeah.
And practicing it every day means two things. One is doing it. So actually not getting frustrated with your kids. It sounds simple, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is simple. So I don't want to get frustrated with my kids, which means that I'm not going to react. I'm not getting angry, that type of stuff. So when you're with your kids, you actually do the behavior of not getting angry. Even if it's superficial, even if it's acting, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're acting as if you're not getting frustrated with them, right?
Yeah.
That's very important, that behavior, because that's the initial part of it. A lot of it is like when I brushed my teeth with my left hand and learned how to do that with my left hand as opposed to my right hand. At first, it's pretending you're brushing your teeth with your hand, because I'm not really brushing it as well as with my right, because I don't have the motor skill, the fine motor skills for it. So they probably weren't brushed as well. In a way, I'm pretending to brush my and so when you're there, in a way, you just get into character. You actually do the behavior that you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's real or not. You actually do it. So you're learning to kick the ball with your left foot. As the ball's being passed to you, you actually kick the ball with your left foot.
Yeah.
You don't say, I wish I could kick the ball with my left foot, or I'm going to learn. No, you actually get in line with the ball with the left side and actually do the motion of kicking it. You may miss it, you may miskick it. It may not be a very strong kick, which probably all those things will happen before the first time. And that's what's going to happen with other types of behavior. It's not going to look, the final result isn't going to seem real for other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even for yourself, because it didn't have the same result as if you would have done it in a different way, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things involved into learning new behavior. Until all those things click together, then it looks real. It's like acting. So if someone's an actor and their scene is they have to cry because they lost their partner died, the love of their life died, then really good acting, someone that's a really good actor will convince their brain that their lover died, and they will cry, and when you watch it, it would seem real, And then we've all seen bad acting, and the reason why it's bad acting is because their brain wasn't convinced that it's real, and that's why it's bad acting, And because they weren't convinced, we weren't convinced. Because their brain wasn't convinced, our brain isn't convinced either that it's real. Right?
Yeah.
But if they were to practice that, and practice and practice and practice and practice, they'll get to a really convincing scene what they could actually do. So the more you do it, the better it becomes. Actually, Anthony Hopkins, the actor, Anthony Hopkins, you've heard of him? He did Silence of the Lambs and a few other ones. A great actor, British actor, right? And his thing with any script, before starting a movie, he reads it 250 times, the script. That's his thing. He's obsessive about it.
Yeah.
It has to be 250. That's a lot of times. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot of times. So, Vagel, I give you, for example, I give you this piece of paper, right? I give you this piece of paper, and you read it once, you'll know what it's about.
Yeah.
You read it twice, you know what it's about. 5 times, imagine 10 times reading this piece of paper. As soon as you start reading it, you're going to know exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
But you're not going to know word for word yet.
Yeah.
And then 11, 12, 30. When you're about 20-something, 30, you're going to know pretty much every sentence, how it's structured. You're going to be reading it without actually reading each word. You're going to glide over it because you've memorized it.
Yeah.
And when you get to 50 times, you're going to pretty much know every comma.
Yeah.
And so forth, you know what I mean? That's 50 times, and I'm talking about 250 times. That's a shitload of times. And you know why he does that? Because he doesn't want his brain to have to worry about anything else but the feeling of what he's doing. He doesn't have to remember what he's saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has to be second nature. There can't be any doubt, any pause, any thinking about what my line is.
Yeah.
It has to be so implanted in there that the only thing that his brain has to worry about is the acting of the emotion, and that's why it looks good when we watch it.
Yeah.
He's not remembering anything. It's just doing it. It's coming out spontaneously.
Yeah.
And so that's his theory, and that's the way he explains why he does that. Because it's one thing less to him to worry about in the acting. There's a lot of things to worry about when the guy says action, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you can't worry about the script, you know? And so in life, anything you have control over that you can eliminate as a problem, you've got to do it. You know what I mean? So that's the behavioral part of it. So you actually go through the process of not being frustrated with your children. Then what you do, you add that is your thinking. You think, you prepare, you visualize. Okay, first thing you visualize. Okay, I'm about to get home. I'm going to spend 10 minutes with my kids playing with them in the room, a game. And I know last time, after about 3 minutes, I was frustrated because they wouldn't listen. You know what? That's not going to happen. I'm going to get through the 10 minutes, and you're putting in your brain what's going to happen. Then you visualize it in your head as you're driving home, or you're walking home, or you're in another room, whatever it is. Before you start, you visualize in your head, you going into the room, smiling, having a chat, having a laugh. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. You're happy, you're not frustrated. You give your kids a kiss and you walk out. You visualize in your head. What you're doing is you're practicing it. You're practicing your script, like Anthony Hopkins, of what's going to happen. So you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And your brain is being convinced is with the fact that that is what you want. Oh, that's what you want. Okay, done. Let's do that. Let's do that. Do that. You're not surprising it. Because your brain's going to, I thought you wanted to get frustrated because last time, and the last 10 times you got frustrated, so I'm just going to give you frustration. No, brain, this is what I want from, this is what I want from you now. Okay, now you've punched it in, it's just like a computer. This is what we're going to do. Bang, visualize, think about it. Then the big one, doing it. You go in, you go through the process of doing it.
Yeah.
You might think that's unnatural, and it is. But if you do it once, twice, 10 times, 20 times, 250 times, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
It's locked in 100%.